If it's someone with an idea or a vision for the thing and they went specifically creating that in Suno with that vision and they come to me and they're like, hey, this is what we're working on right now. Do you want to jump onto it? Definitely, I'll do that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with AI. I just have a problem with how a lot of people are using AI because they're not really creating anything.
Hey everybody, it's Matt, AI DIY, the AI music guy. Music is for everyone. I've got Steve here. He's a AI music guy as well. Where are you based out of, Steve? South Africa, is it?
South Africa, yeah.
Yes,
Johannesburg,
cool.
South Africa.
Oh, we're so far away. I'm in Australia
Damn,
right now. Nice.
sheesh.
Look, the reason I want to have you on this podcast is we basically touch on a lot of similar topics. So I just thought it'd be really cool to start talking. We actually started talking before the recording, which is before the recording and after the recording is when the absolute best conversations happen often. So I said,
True.
no, can't let that shit go down. Let's start talking. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do? What does your channel do? And all that.
Um, I would like to say I'm a jack of all trades, I think. But what started my journey into everything that I'm doing right now is songwriting, literally just writing songs. And then from writing songs, I wanted to learn how to make my own music so that I could produce for myself. And then I learned that. And then because of that, I had to learn content creation because I have to market my music. So this has been a journey of learning something new just to advance and whatnot. And now we're at the inflection point, which is AI.
Mm,
And I find for me personally, I know there are like scares and all of this stuff surrounding AI and whatnot, but for me, I also see the good in it. So I'm open minded to know, okay, it can take my job, but only if I let it take my job, or I
mm.
can use it as a tool to like improve things for myself. And so far, AI is helping a lot because like I'm a one man team. A lot of the things that I do for myself. So AI has just become like what an employee or a team of
Yeah.
employees that I can use whenever I need to use. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I
people on
hope I answered the
Fiverr are
question.
gonna hate that.
Did I
Yeah,
speak
it
about
did. I
myself?
suppose. Well, you kind of touched on some things too, like that I guess we want to expand on. Like you said, this is part of the process. In the initial part, like I know, like you've worked in DAW, you've done music and all that stuff, and you're this could take your
Yeah.
career. So just take us back a little bit. Like, where's your starting point? Like you said, I guess it could be interpreted like you said, I'm learning music and all that. Is that you've discovered AI and it's sort of brought you into music and that? But that's I don't think that's the case. I think you've been working in DAW
No,
and
that's not
teaching
the
DAW
case.
for a while.
Yeah, yeah, that's not the case. So I've been working in FL Studio since like high school. I think. Do you guys call your standards grade eight? I was in grade eight when I started learning
Yeah, we
how
call it high
to.
school. Universally, it's probably it could be understood as high school. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
then I got it wrong. So it's intermediary school, and then there's tertiary. No, tertiary
yeah,
is university, isn't it? That's college and all of that stuff, right?
yeah, yeah. It
So
just
before that,
depends, man.
before that, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just say when I was like 13, 14, around there.
Uh, yeah,
Um, so yeah, I started learning FL Studio. I started with FL Studio 3.5, and then but then I was just making beats, like real trash beats. And then I got better over time. So yeah, I've been making music in FL Studio as well as Studio One for like the longest I can remember. I think 13 years right now. And then
yeah.
only in the past year or two, with the emergence of AI, did I start implementing AI in some of my productions. But at first, I approached AI with the fear mindset that, hey, it might take my
Hmm.
job and whatnot. So I was only looking at like, mom and pops developed AI, like, everything is ethically sourced and all of that stuff. Because I didn't want the stigma of, hey, you're using stolen art to improve your
Yeah.
own art and all of that stuff.
Man,
But over
I'll
time,
just
I've,
stop you there. I just spoke to a lawyer on this, man, and it's so open. Like before I interviewed you, I was talking to a lawyer, and it's so open ended as to whether things are stolen or not. So just open to interpretation and what kind of a
yeah,
lawyer
true.
you are. But yeah, but go ahead. Ethically sourced, ethically sourced, and what is your opinion on what ethically sourced is?
My opinion is different now. It used to be that ethically sourced is the way to go with AI because it doesn't infringe or steal from human creativity. But then over time, I think the last year is where my mind kind of opened up to the fact that humans have been doing what AI is doing right now for
Mm,
eons, where I get inspired by someone and so on and so forth. I think what happened with Suno is that they could have gotten the data anyways if they had asked
mm,
people, because people would just give data anyways if you ask them, or even sometimes you don't even have to ask them, but just putting it out there that we training our AI on art that already exists. I don't think people would have a problem with it. I just think people have a problem with it because of how it took place. They
yeah,
went and figuratively stole the data that was already on the internet, trained the thing, and now people that aren't musicians, I think that's where the gripe comes in, because a lot of musicians feel that people that aren't musicians are now making music, and that's
yeah,
where like there's a disconnect. Like, I'm a musician, but I don't want a non-musician to take my job, whereas I can be a musician and still use AI to stay at the top of whatever this sphere we call art is, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah, yeah, so there's a duality to it that I think a lot of people aren't seeing. Also, they'll see it too late. Like I was talking to you earlier about the AI
the
bubble,
gold rush,
like
the AI
the
gold
gold
rush. You
rush.
were saying, yeah,
Yes, the gold rush. I feel there's a gold rush, and with every gold rush, there's like good that comes out of the gold rush. There's bad that comes out of it, and I feel like right now a lot of companies are working to tap into the gold mine, because they also either have the fear that this won't last too long, or it's just another bubble. Like, what's
mm.
that bubble that happened in America back
The
that
the
crashed the
dot
whole,
com one.
yeah, the dot com
Yeah,
bubble. Everyone's just scrambling to either make money or preserve themselves by creating something using AI, or yeah, it's just something that's happening and they're taken by FOMO. I don't know. But
yeah,
for me personally, I think it's a tool, and like with every other tool, you use it to advance yourself, or you let the tool take over and yeah, you become obsolete. That's
yeah.
just yeah, my thinking.
I'll just take a step back on the ethically sourced part and whether Suno could have asked for permission and all that stuff. So what they're arguing for is that they did fair use, and in the same way that anybody who uses fair use on any copyrighted content or whatever, that it's in transformative. There's not. So they rolled the dice on whether that was going to come as a legitimate argument. So it's either going to be
Yeah,
coming as it is a legitimate argument, was fair use, or time will tell and they'll say no, it was theft. We decided it was one or the other. So I guess in this
yeah,
case, like while we're using this, um, I mean, I guess we have to say ethically sourced, meaning if we're using Suno and stuff, I guess we sort of agree that it was ethically trained in the way that it's we're taking parts of a million songs into making our songs,
yeah,
so it's transformative enough in way that it's fair use. But people can argue that way one way or another. One thing's for sure is there has not been a decision made on that. So people screaming
true.
that it is illegal or is unethically sourced, that has not been a decision on that based on that. But I also want to talk about like so you have been doing all this stuff, and initially you felt um that it wasn't, I guess, something you want to do, but now you're like, oh, now it could be one of my tools. And I just want to bring to this term now. It's so fresh and vibing. It's so slay and gyat now, or whatever the term hybrid, right? Like it
Yeah,
seems like it seems like now if people like I want to use AI, but I don't want to call myself an AI artist. Um, I'm hybrid. I'm hybrid. That
yeah,
I'm telling you that I have music skills, but I put it into my thing. So you don't have to say that. You could just say hybrid. Do you
yes.
call have you seen that a bit? People just right now is all of a sudden hybrid.
I've seen that, but I haven't adopted it for
Oh,
myself.
are you going to adopt it now?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm gonna have to, because yeah, that's the definition for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it is hybrid. I think for the longest part, music has been hybridized. Like the moment music became digital, I feel that's where musicians stopped being just musicians, because we came from a
Mm,
time where It was the musician with an instrument and live vocals, no auto tune, no anything like that. And then we went digital. Now there's auto tune. I can pitch correct and all of that stuff. That's not natural. So if we can say that's okay to tweak your voice and make yourself unnaturally sound good, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Then what's the problem with me going to a Suno and saying, hey, I struggle with my drums on my beats, or I struggle with guitars and whatnot. So just fill in the guitars and the drums, and then I'll do the rest. That's still, it's a collaboration between me and the AI versus, hey, I don't know anything. I can't write the lyrics. I can't make the beats. I can't sing the song, make everything for me. That's where I find there's a problem with it, because that's not creativity. That's perjury, if that makes sense. That's like me going to a blog on your website, just copying the words as they are and putting it on my website. I didn't create anything. But if I'm for me, yeah, the hybrid thing does work because I write and then I'll record my own vocals. I play a bit of piano. So I'll start like 70% of the song will be created by myself. And then it's like, hey, Suno, I can't, like, I struggle with drums, man. I can't for the
Mm.
life of me. I can only do the boom bap. You know what I mean? But in terms of drums and all of that stuff and guitars, I can't do that stuff. And it costs a lot to go find a human to play all of that stuff, because he's
Yeah.
also going to bring his experience to the table, tell you how much his experience costs. Whereas Sooner, I don't know how much the subscription is right now, but whatever the subscription is, I'm sure it's less than $15. For $15, I can get
Mm.
session musicians, I can get drummers and all of that stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
that's
just
true, man, because people take that for granted when they're bagging AI music, I suppose. Is like you have an idea, you've got all this stuff, you can do it yourself, but you need a drummer. And
yeah,
like, and I don't want to misrepresent arguments, but I think maybe they don't take it in consideration. So if you were to go by like, no, I will absolutely not do AI. I can't afford a session drummer. So the thing that I wanted to create and put out to the world can't exist
yeah,
because if I use AI, it's going to take from that session drummer that couldn't afford and I never would have gotten in the first place.
true. Yeah, it's a very complicated thing. I mean, there's no one straight answer for it. That's why I'm saying,
There's
like,
not.
ethically sourced, non-ethically sourced, these are all like base arguments. But at the end of the day, what are people doing with it? Is it
Yeah.
destroying the world, or people creating art that actually? Because I actually, this is an interesting topic, because the other day I was listening to YouTube music, and an AI artist, an AI version of Michael Jackson popped up, but I didn't notice. I just started singing along because I know the lyrics and whatnot. But
Uh
it
oh.
sounded amazing. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when I went to check, I see, no, it's AI Michael Jackson. And I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
good, because the music is really good. They
Yeah.
repurposed his music and made
And
something
there could be
else out
all
of it.
sorts of arguments of whether that's slop or not or whatever. But you said like the hybrid thing is that where you draw the line if you're not contributing something what is the minimum amount of contribution that you have to say before you consider it like not plagiarism or whatever?
I think 50%. You should
Okay.
have something created. If you're a musician, that's why, like, my argument is that most people hate the fact that it's non-musicians that are able to just create these amazing pieces of work. But for musicians, I don't know how you would filter out and just have musicians use the platform, which
Well, yeah,
would
it doesn't
also,
doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering about your take on it. Like, how do you personally feel? So, I mean, yeah, it's hard.
I
Like
personally
Deezer
feel
and all
like
that is, yeah,
50% is enough. I feel like I
yeah,
do 50% and slightly above when I am working with AI, because there are things that can do, there are things that I can't do. So yeah, I do what I can do, and then AI is supplementary versus me not doing anything and then just having AI do it all.
yeah. Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I have
that's
my
that.
limits too. Before that I wouldn't call art. Like, if you're just pushing a button, make me a rock song, and that's all you
Exactly.
do. That's all you
Exactly.
do. I mean, that takes nothing. That's nothing. You're not contributing anything. Like, I have to say, at least like you have to at least guide it in some sort of way. But yeah, it was just interesting
Exactly.
how how you sort of take on that and all that. So, would you work with other people that I guess are basically contributing stuff where they don't know how to play an instrument, but they've created a pretty good something through Suno, and they've sort of come to you and said, hey, can we work together and you drop it into FL Studio or whatever and work with me on it back and forth? Is that because I mean I suppose in that way they're still working with the musician and at least 50
Yeah, yeah.
it's still hybrid, right?
Yeah, it's interesting what you said there is they have their idea. A lot of people don't have an idea. They just have like I want a rock song talking about pineapples. You know what I mean?
It
So
works
yeah,
for some stuff out there.
if it's someone with an idea or a vision for the thing and they went specifically creating that in Suno with that vision and they come to me and they're like, hey, this is what we're working on right now. Do you want to jump onto it? Definitely, I'll do that. I actually created an EP. I've not released it. I have a bad habit of creating music and not releasing it.
Mm,
But it was the voicing is I sang the songs, but I went and completely changed it to a female and whatnot because I was trying to create a female persona and see how that would work. And the music is amazing. So like, yeah, I don't have a problem with AI. I just have a problem with how a lot of people are using AI because they're
yeah,
not really creating anything. But yeah,
yeah,
if you are creative and you giving input to Suno, granted we are training Suno some more, but we at the same time we are gaining a lot from Suno because Suno has a collective knowledge of everyone's art in the world. So
mm,
if we were to take that analogy that we've been like tapping in, I wouldn't say stealing, but we've been tapping into art that was there before us to create new
yeah,
art, then what Suno is doing is just natural evolution. It's just creating taking what was and through it creating something new, with the guide of humans, of course. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean that's been pretty much anybody that's in this art form is saying the same thing. Like some guy that makes a jazz song today isn't the first guy that ever wrote a jazz that ever did jazz, or
Exactly.
jazz is a bad example, bad example because
Yeah.
whatever. But you know what I'm saying. If someone does a hip hop song, it's like, oh, you're stealing because other people made hip hop songs before.
Before, exactly. That doesn't make sense. Then we might as
Yeah,
well just stop making music altogether.
yeah. Unless you're the first one to do. The other one I hear is and it could be true to a point, but I haven't seen it like you can only ever reproduce a type of music that's done before, no matter how much you bend it and shape it. But
Mhm.
the, so I don't think that's a bad thing. There's people in pop music right now that all they do is regurgitate the same feel of stuff that's been around for the
And
last
melodies,
10 years.
exactly.
Yeah, the same
Yeah,
melodies, and they're super successful about it. So I don't understand that as an argument either. But I don't want to shitbag any like everybody's feelings on stuff either. I just, to me, I want it to make sense. If you're saying it, I want me to go like, oh, that gives me pause for thought. That's real. But
yeah.
if people are saying like your song sounds like other people, well, pop songs all sound like
They all
blues
sound the
songs sound
same.
very similar to each other. Even though
They all sound the same. Country sounds the same to me.
yeah, especially country. If you watch this channel,
Exactly. So yeah. So yeah, that argument, yeah, it doesn't hold any weight. I
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't hold any weight. That's not a proper argument. That's I just feel people fear what they don't understand, and this has
Mm,
been proven time and time again. And what is happening now, there's a shift in the industry because I've been like reading a lot of articles where these artists that are now famous are already using AI in studio sessions and
mm,
whatnot. It's just because right now it's taboo to speak about it or
yes.
mention that you used AI in your music, that they aren't. But give it 2, 3 years, 5 years, this will be normal, and no one will be complaining that hey, Suno is doing X, Y, and Z because it'll be the standard. It's happening
Yeah.
already. I mean, yeah,
It's interesting you say that about the celebrities, right? And we all know it's happening too. And
yeah,
I heard Mikey Schulman, the CEO of Suno, he was talking a podcast that I
yes,
listened to like in September or something, and he was talking about he knows that people in the Grammys are using AI. All the like, Grammy winners are using AI, and it's funny
yeah,
because of the stigma. Like people are very protective of their careers because they know how hard it is to get to that spot. And you look at a guy like Will Smith, how easy it is to fall, and then
true.
how hard it is to climb back up once you've fallen.
Sound back
So
up.
you look at a guy like
Exactly.
Timbaland, right? Timbaland is like, yeah, I do it, and he's just copying it from everybody. He's copying it from traditional artists. He's copying it from the AI thing. Like, I don't think he gives a shit. Like, he's old enough to go, whatever, man. I've had my success. F
Yeah.
you. But you can see
Yeah.
why they wouldn't. You can see why they wouldn't, right?
Yeah. It makes sense. Totally makes sense. It's like, hey, man, I'm a really great musician. I've got really great session musicians, but there's an extra step that I can take, which Suno can do because it combines all these genres and feels and moods and all of that stuff, and it can take this and 10x it. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could
I'll tell
at
you
the end
why.
of the
Well,
day.
you definitely would, but you're waiting for other people to get shot by the arrows by admitting that they
Yeah,
do it before you come forward and do it. Because it's true. Like you and I know, because we use it, right? It
yeah,
enhances something. You can twist and turn it. You can try it. Like if I were Taylor Swift, I always like using Taylor Swift as an example. I don't know why, because I like Taylor Swift stuff. Whatever I do,
yeah.
um,
It's
you
okay to
know,
like Taylor.
yeah, whatever. I can like what I like, whatever. But
Yeah,
let's say
sure.
Taylor Swift did, right? She's
Yeah,
risking she's risking everybody understanding that little nuance that you and I are talking about. Oh, trying to, and all of a sudden, like friggin' every jerkbag that's out there is talking about, but like she's stealing everybody's art, and this
yeah.
is all thing, and maybe she's done it for years and she has no talent. And then all of a sudden, instead of making music, she's got to be like, oh, do I give this
Defending
attention?
yourself.
Do I do interviews? Like, why would you admit it
Yeah.
if you don't have to?
True, true, true. And I mean, the same thing happened with autotune. I mean, for the longest,
Mm,
singers didn't want to be associated with autotune on their voices. And I was like,
yeah,
but everyone's using autocorrection anyways on their voices. It's just that
yeah,
now T-Pain made it famous and some people have a problem with it because these celebrities always follow the masses. And I'm telling you, the masses in 2 or 3 years or so won't be able to tell the difference. Even now, they
yeah,
aren't able to tell the difference between AI music and actual human music, if
yeah.
that's a thing. Music
Well,
music.
especially in the mastering part. If you consider mastering an entire song that
Yeah,
you made using AI, then technically it's still AI, right? And then it is even a lot of times even better than this stuff. But how do you feel about,
true.
like, Deezer says, like, you have to label all your anything that's AI, you have to label. Bandcamp saying if it's primarily AI or any AI at all, I guess. Actually, they
Mhm.
didn't give a percentage. They just said,
If it's
vaguely, we
AI,
don't want AI, and if you think someone's using AI, then report them. But we're not going to tell you how much AI is. And how do you feel about, like, the idea that at some point people feel passionately on either side of this, that you have to
yeah.
label it as AI, and then what percentage would you
Um,
would you say?
I think Deezer is only putting on a show
Yeah,
because they want to remain relevant. All
yeah,
these
yeah,
platforms already have AI music playing on them. Spotify was probably the first, and then all the other platforms just followed suit. But because they have to do public relations and whatnot, they have to make it look like they're fighting the AI scourge. I mean, some of the biggest bands on Spotify and Deezer are AI right now, like
yeah,
Sundance. What's something Sundance? They're on Spotify and they're still on Spotify. I checked the other day. They're still on Spotify getting millions of streams and stuff like that. But they're AI, which means all these other platforms have already been doing it as well. But because there was backlash, I think backlash drives a lot of um, the decisions that companies take in terms of how they are public facing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Deezer was just doing damage control. And in terms of the second question where you asked the disclosing of it, I feel like it's necessary, but there has to be like, how do I put this? There has to be limits to what should be labeled as AI. Because for me, if I'm go make 90% of the song and I only go to AI for the bass line because I can't play
yeah,
bass or I don't have anyone
or
near
the
me playing
drums or
bass,
whatever you were saying before. Yeah,
yeah, that doesn't make the whole song AI. It just makes that section of the song AI. So then am I going to
yeah.
label the whole song AI? That's
it's
detrimental to me.
technically it's technically AI, right? Like what happens if you made the whole instrumental, the rhythm and all that stuff on your whatever you have at home on your DAW, and then,
Yeah.
like, the lyrics for whatever song, because you're not a lyricist, you plug those in, and because you basically went to ChatGPT to write the lyrics, and you sang the lyrics, So
Yeah.
technically, there's nothing that's fed through an AI engine that you could give to Deezer or Spotify. But you
Yeah.
the technically speaking, the song is AI because you use ChatGPT to write it. You know, like, and none of these platforms are saying like this percentage or in this way. They're very vague.
Yeah. It's very vague, and I feel like it's intentionally vague so that
Mm,
in the future, when AI is no longer taboo, then they can just reintroduce it to their platforms.
totally
So it's
agree.
just,
Totally agree.
yeah, it's just having a foot on either side versus, yeah, totally
So
cutting out one side.
no,
Yeah,
you're right. I was talking to a politician about 6 months ago about
yeah,
some things that are going on. It's becoming a big problem in Melbourne, and this person said, "Oh, I'm basically going to Facebook and saying this and that." She goes, "But technically speaking, like it's really me. I have to be seen as doing something because there's nothing that can really be done about it because the criminals are going to do that regardless. So it's
true.
kind of, and I don't want to talk about this as criminals, but you have to be seen sometimes doing stuff. So if Deezer and Spotify and DistroKid and all that, if they're not seen
Yes,
as like, oh, we're trying to figure it out, and they're in the background going, please hurry up, AI, become mainstream, hurry up, have some decisions made so we can cut this shit out. But you're right. Like if
yeah,
if like Deezer goes, or if Spotify goes, you have to label everything as AI music if you do, and then next week it's mainstream,
yeah.
then they look like idiots.
They do look like idiots, true. Yeah, and I mean these companies invest in each other. Isn't Sam Altman investing in some AI weaponry and whatnot? These guys are
Your Deezer
banking
is,
on
yeah,
AI taking over because AI solves a lot of problems for them. This is where the labeling now for me is important, where it's purely AI, like where you just typed in a prompt and it created the beats,
mm,
the lyrics, the vocals, and everything that deserves to be labeled. But if
yeah,
there's human input and we can prove that there's at least above 70% human input, then we can't call that, well, personally, I feel we can't call that AI because that was still a human that created that entire idea and then AI
yeah,
just helped enhance it. So yeah, these platforms are all banking on it, man. They're waiting for the masses to think AI is cool, and then that's all you'll be hearing. Like Spotify is already doing it. There are some AI platform, playlists. There's also an
yeah,
AI DJ
yeah, yeah. There is
on the
too.
platform.
There is too. Yes,
Yeah,
I
AI
forgot
DJ.
about
So
that.
that's all pointing to the fact that they're adopting AI, but front
Yeah,
facing, they have to act like no, they're for the masses because the masses are the ones that pay the bills.
yeah. Well, that brings to the point of something that I don't talk about very much is like people that if it's AI within the scope of what my job is, if I'm a writer,
Yeah,
so we'll just say musician. If I'm a musician, I absolutely hate. I mean, no, this is what happened. This is a thing that some people say, right? If I'm a
yes.
musician, like I see it on the Facebook pages and stuff, like I hate AI. It's absolute crap. It's all trash. This and that. Um, but ChatGPT is okay, even though it trains the exact same way.
It does the
If it's
exact
not
same.
if it's not my art form, it's okay.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like the film guys were fighting AI generated videos.
Yeah.
What the painters and what are they, artists? Because we're all artists, but like the guys who draw and stuff like that, they were complaining that AI images are going to take our job and whatnot. But what I notice is there are two groups of people. There are the ones that fear AI is going to take my job, and then there are those who like see the opportunity to actually
Mm,
elevate themselves because there's so much opportunity to 10x or 5x whatever you're doing because this workforce, I mean, one, it's free. Two, it's tapped into like the knowledge of the planet. Three, it can execute really quickly. I would I'm on the second batch of people that see it as an opportunity to actually like grow really quickly and tap into the gold rush. And then other people are stuck in it's going to take my job and then it will eventually take their job. And I don't
mm,
think AI will personally by itself take people's jobs, but it'll be people like me who understand, okay, if I use AI in this way, I can do your job without needing you, and so on and so forth. So I elevate, and then at the end of the day, we're gonna have those two factions being on opposite sides, where the ones that aren't using AI are left behind,
Yeah.
and then the ones that are using AI are ahead of
I
everything.
think there's
Because
always going to be a skill for people that can do things manually. Like you
yes,
look at like the typewriter, right? We all use typewriters, but there's still a need for people that do
I wasn't
calligraphy,
alive for
right?
typewriters.
What's that?
I was
Was it?
not alive for
Oh,
typewriters.
let's say the keyboard. We're just typing on a keyboard on a computer, right? But there's still people that do calligraphy, or
True.
there's people that build houses and factories, and they ship out components of that house, but there's still a need for carpenters. It's just that it becomes niche, and those people become even more valuable. You know,
Yeah, and it becomes they can charge even more because they're the only ones who can do that.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a win-win. It's just yeah, optimism. Optimism isn't something that everyone is born with. Like a lot of
yeah,
people see like bad all the time. So it's
yeah,
only when things have like drastically shifted that people start to accept. Like I keep going back to this whenever I have an argument about AI with anyone. T Pain started, like, became famous for autotune, and people hated it. Jay Z
mm,
even made a song, Death. Was it a song or album? Death of Autotune and whatnot. He was speaking against autotune and all of that stuff. 5 years later, autotune is now the industry standard. Everyone's using it. If you don't use it, you're weird and whatnot. So it's just a matter of, yeah, positioning yourself in such a way that whatever it is that people are fearing is going to happen, you don't let that happen to yourself. And then you use
yeah,
whatever the tool that they're fearing to position yourself in a place where when it does blow over, when the storm blows over and people are now accepting of it, you are kind of like a pioneer of whatever you've created using that tool.
yeah.
So,
I think
like,
people look
for the,
back to these times and say who the people that started using it, what weird ways. Remember that they were doing it that way. Remember those
yeah,
YouTube channels that talked about how the future? They were so right. Those guys. That's what they'll say.
true.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I wish I had jumped onto autotune sooner.
Mm.
I've got a lot of friends who did music back in the day with me, and whatever comes my way, I try it. I'm always for trying, and if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick, and then I move on to the next thing. So autotune stuck, and at the time when I was doing it, because I came from a singing background, I came from a choir background, so I could sing naturally, but there was something about autotune that just made the voice extra nice. So I was using it. And at that time, it was like taboo. Like all my friends were like,
Yeah, yeah.
yo, man, don't use
Do that. Don't
autotune and
don't let your
whatnot.
dad open up the door and see what you're doing in your room with auto tune. Basically,
Exactly, exactly. Now it's like industry standard. And if you don't use it, you're the weird one. So
yeah,
AI is going to be the same also.
yeah, I agree. One thing that we don't talk about enough, like I don't know how much you've used Adobe and had interactions with Adobe as a business, but one thing I've been hoping for years is that someone takes Adobe's market share. And my God, I'm hoping that's happening right now. What
It
a
is CapCut.
yeah, Cap. Yeah, that's right. They are
CapCut
also like
is doing.
Canva. They all are
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Do it. Do
Yeah,
it.
I edit all my videos on CapCut, to be honest with you. I used to use
Do you?
DaVinci. I started on Premiere Pro, but Premiere Pro, I don't know, man, it's slow. Like it feels like the work flow is
Premiere
so
Pro
slow. So
is
I'm
unnecessarily expensive. There's not enough bad things I can say about Adobe as a business. So I'm
yeah,
glad people are figuring out CapCut before they're figuring out Premiere Pro.
yeah. And then I tried DaVinci Pro. DaVinci is amazing. It's like CapCut, but it doesn't have all
Mm.
the features like the
Filters and
effects and
stuff.
all of
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah,
Transitions and
so
all
that's
that.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
CapCut wins. Because I think
Yeah.
CapCut realized that there's a younger market, and the younger market creates content on a scale that's never been seen before. I mean, these people are posting 10 videos a day. Where do you get the
Yeah.
time? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
But there
there's
is
a
there
good,
is that though. But this lends to I guess this next part of the conversation that I didn't even know that we were going to have, because that's an interesting point. Like
yeah,
right now, like if you work hard enough and you put enough stuff out there, you can be successful. In the past, I
true.
guess it was you had to blow people away with quality. And to a point, like you could have really good quality and you're still not going to be, people aren't going to pay attention to. But if you put enough stuff out there,
Yeah.
as shit as it could possibly be, then you're going to get attention. And I think that's the problem with, like, I think right now, like even like my channel, right? I, with a lot of intent, do the best I can with what I've got. And even if like it's not the best thing out there, I try to be honest about how shit I am in some things and how good I am in other. And I know for me, the plan is, if it's slow to build up, I'm happy with that. But these
Yes.
tools now, if you're not happy with that, you can throw as much shit out there as you want and do it as quickly. Like you said, people put 100 videos out a day through CapCut, and
Sure.
there's some of the other ones out there too. So
Yeah.
what's your feelings
Yeah.
about that? Because that looks like the future. We're talking about like, what are we going to look back on? I think right now, because tools are so easy to use,
Yeah.
um, people are being rewarded for using them that way.
I think it will continue being like that. The rewards will still come through to people, even going forward. It's just, how do I put this? Like with AI, for me, I feel like I've been saying with the during the entire interview, you either use it to your advantage or it uses
Mm,
you, or it completely wipes you off the face of the planet. Like with AI, I've been able to, in the last few months, I've been able to create a platform. So I have this database called the plugin gallery. And at first I created it on, it's like, what's this, man? Not PayPal. Shopify. It's like Shopify, but
yes,
it's
yeah.
on,
There's a few of them out
Pay.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like PayHip. Yeah, it's called PayHip.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So my database was on there, and it was a simple blog where I would review like AI or VST plugins, and I'll put it on there, and people will go there and download and all of that stuff, right? But because I discovered AI, I recently discovered Claude. Actually, I've been using Claude for the past 2 months now.
Claude is
I've
the
been
big
able,
one right now. Yes.
yeah. So using Claude in the 2 months, I've built myself a sample library online that has instant playback. I can add effects and all of that stuff. And I've always wanted to do this. I'm just doing this now because, yeah, it's been on my bucket list forever. I'm not actually planning to sell it or anything like that. And then I also created the same plugin gallery, but from scratch, like with features and all of these things that I wanted on my website, but I couldn't get because
Mm,
development is expensive and it takes a
yeah,
lot of time. I literally did it in 2 weeks with Claude. So
yeah,
there's advantages and there's disadvantages. The disadvantage in this case might be that, hey, I took bread away from a developer, but at the same time, I wasn't able to afford the developer. So what's
yeah. And so it
you?
never would have been done in the first place. Exactly. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
that's the thing. Like with what was that music thing that you could share files? Napster back in the
Napster, yeah,
day was saying, with all the downloads, we're losing like $1 billion. It was like something in the billions. But I
true.
remember thinking at the time, like, not really, because I wouldn't have bought these songs anyway if they weren't available. Like, you're not losing any.
Exactly,
That would have never taken those songs in the first place.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it just, yeah. There's a win for everyone. There's a loss for some people. It's
Yeah,
but the majority of the time it's wins. It's
yeah,
from this. There's a lot of greatness that's coming out. Like it's called AI slop. I have a problem with the word AI slop because not
yeah,
all AI content is slop. It's just
mm,
like I said earlier on, there are musicians and then there are non-musicians. And in every field it's the same. There are graphic designers and non-graphic designers. And the non-graphic designers are putting out so much slop that it's overshadowing even the graphic designer who's open to AI and is using
yeah,
AI, but because he has some input, his one takes longer because he goes and creates the idea first and then comes and improves it with AI versus the guy who doesn't really do that, just comes and tells AI, please create this and this and this and this and this. So if we can, I think the biggest thing with AI is filtering. If we can figure
mm,
out the filtering and and know that okay, this is good AI content and this is rubbish AI content,
yeah.
I don't think
You get
people will have a
AI
problem
to
with
be
it.
subjective. Like, yeah, according.
Exactly. I
So
don't think
you have to
people have
have
a
a
problem.
thousand people programmed to their opinions on what's good and bad, and that's what it sort of goes
Yes.
by. I suppose it's so hard. It's all like,
It's
I
hard, yeah.
understand the problems with it. I do.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't find AI to be problematic. I think that's why I said to you at first, I had the fear because that's all that was coming out. And if you tap into like the stream of news and media feed and whatnot, you are going to vibrate to whatever the news wants you to vibrate. So at the time, it was fear. It's like this it's a new thing and whatnot. But I'm glad that I quickly got over it because like a month or two later, I was trying out Suno and I was trying to make Afro beats, and that's one of my biggest videos actually on my YouTube. I think it's sitting on like 3 million views or something like that, just me testing out Suno and seeing if it can make my type of music.
Mm.
Excuse me. And yeah, so it AI is creating opportunities for people that like I don't have a video outside of that sitting above 1 million. And that's because of AI. I wouldn't have gotten that otherwise. So how can I then
Wow.
say that AI is bad in this case
Yeah.
when
Well,
it's
what's the
benefiting?
secret?
Yeah.
People are gonna want what's the secret to that? To getting that sort of success on a song.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And then I
Yeah.
break it down for you. And like my drummer is AI. And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
pianist is, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just finding proper middle ground, man. And I feel like with everything in the world, we've been programmed to see the extreme of everything. So it's either the
Mm.
extreme good or the extreme bad. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
never in the middle. And yeah, once we get to the middle, then things sort of balance themselves out. Right now, we're still in the extreme phase.
You know what's cool though?
Mm,
When I talk to people like you, and basically every single person I've spoken to on this podcast,
yeah,
everybody talks normal and is in the middle and has a normal opinion and understands that there's good and bad in everything and that there's tools and someone people are a little bit on one side or the other of that middle, but people, I mean, what why is it that anybody I talk to is normal, but we have the impression that every single person out there is black or white, is a binary or whatever you want to say, is have these extreme opinions? Like, why is the impression that everybody has the extreme opinion? Is it just being fed to us or something by AI that everybody out
yeah,
there is just has extreme opinion? Because I don't talk to anybody that's extreme. Like, and I seek them
yeah,
out.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's just somehow like this goes into now conspiracy theories and whatnot. I feel
Yeah,
like
fine. Let's go that way. I talked to someone months ago that said that there was a supercomputer that went in the past and reprogrammed itself. I'm happy. Let's just talk, man. What's your
no,
conspiracy theory?
my conspiracy theory is that there's something or a power on this planet that wants us to be in constant fear. That's why our
Mm,
news cycles is always fear mongering, everything that's happening in the world. And if you notice it, then you stop fearing and stop
mm,
tapping into it because you get humans give it power. So when I say people are against AI and whatnot, it's not based on like experience. It's just based on this
yeah,
device that we use on a daily, showing me news about people fearing it and whatnot. But you'll find that, like what you're saying, people don't actually fear this thing. You'll find that it's actually like a small percentage of the
yeah,
population that's actually worried about AI taking over anything. And it's just what we are being fed. Like, yeah. So my theory is that there's something that wants us in constant fear. I don't know why. But if you look at how the world operates, everything is designed to make you scared. You're either scared of
yeah.
diseases,
Well,
you're scared
people
of
that
being
want to be
taken over.
controlled, I guess, can tap into that. If I can figure out what you're
Exactly.
afraid of, I can be your hero to take that away from you. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know,
So yeah, you create that fear and then you create spokespersons like humans that are gonna keep feeding that fear by telling you that AI is gonna take your job, AI is gonna do X, Y, and Z. But what I've noticed, even in corporate, my wife works for a company in the UK. Um, they implemented AI last year in the beginning of the year, and this year they're scrapping it because it's not improving productivity. In fact, it's actually
it must be
slowing down
Copilot
productivity.
then. Must be Copilot. That doesn't improve anything.
You know what I mean? So it's slowing down productivity and all of that stuff. So it's just fear mongering. I mean, like even the layoffs that were happening in America with these big tech companies is because they thought AI could do the job. And then when you realize that AI can't do the job by itself, you need human intervention, then you hire the people back, and that's what they're doing now. So it's just
Mm.
yeah, man. I don't know why
That
we
is
programmed.
cyclical. That is cyclical, and
Yeah.
that's been corporate way before AI. Have been in tech for a long time. I remember
Mm.
like I was in IT support for a few years, and then they got rid of a whole, like 10 people in IT support, saying we're basically just gonna offload it or whatever. And
Automate.
then 2 years later, they're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, we need IT
Come
support. We're
back.
gonna hire them back up again. It's the
Yeah.
same, especially in tech. It's
Yeah.
just
Especially in
constantly
tech.
like, some hero director goes, I want to save like $1 million, and then that
True.
basically he's a hero for the moment because then he knows he's leaving the company in a year's time anyway, so he
At
doesn't have
least
to see
made
any of the
money.
fallout of that. So
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like, yeah, the fear is designed, and yeah, um, over time things just balance themselves out. Once people spend enough time with something, they stop fearing it, or they stop seeing it as whatever the news told them it was, or the people that are negative told them it was.
some
You know what
guy
I
on
mean?
Facebook, yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, there's good and bad in everything. It's just how you choose to use things. And like I feel like with AI, it's the same. Are you using it to try and replace other artists, or are you using it to enhance your art? If it's the latter, then you're not doing anything bad. I can't consider you a thief or
yeah,
you
yeah,
plagiarizing. But if you're trying to just make a quick buck out of it, and all of your music is like purely AI, then you're the problem in society, because you are really taking away from the creatives
yeah,
that can use AI to make music, amazing art. I mean, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah, well, we could go back to the percentages and all that stuff. And like, I'll hate to mention Deezer again, but their problem is people that use bots to play their own. They'll someone will make 100 AI songs in one day, and then they have a bot running to have those 100 songs played 100 times, throughout
yeah. They
every
should
single
be
day. So
flagging that.
they are
Yeah, that,
they've got tech to sort of do that, but it's a partially a manual process too. So
yeah, yeah. It needs
so
human labor.
So let's just say, see, what I'll do is I'll say, like I said, I like to give people an opportunity to promote themselves a bit. So what I could do is I could play you out with one of your songs. I'm happy to do that, so you can introduce that. But why don't you talk about your channel a little bit? We'll put the links in the description and all that stuff, so people can know where you are if they want to know more about you. And then, like, if you've got a really cool song that we want to play you out with, we can tack that to the end of this thing because people like to know what are you putting together.
Okay, so in terms of music, I wouldn't say that now creating music as like my main thing anymore. I just create music as a hobby right now. But the one thing that I would like to promote is my website, the plugin gallery that I was talking about earlier on. And you can
Mm.
check that out at projectfeels.com. That's feels with a Z at the end, not a S.
Or is
Um,
that if you're in
yeah,
Australia?
Z. But funny thing is, Australian accent is just like South African accent for some reason. I don't know.
Oof.
Like I worked for Amazon for a few years, like a while back, and every time I'd call someone, they were like, "Are you Australian?" It's either that or Canadian. I'm like, no, neither of those.
Yeah,
I'm
I
South
don't
African.
know, man. I think my people, like I'm from the U.S. initially. I think some of my people have something to answer for not understanding accents, but that's
Yeah,
just me. Like I don't want to be
yeah.
against my people, but you know, you don't sound Australian to me or Irish. Just in case
Oh,
anybody said that.
yeah, no, 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 Irish. Anyway, so yeah, projectfeels.com with a Z at the end. And then if you are like, if you really want to listen to my music, you can check me out on Spotify. It's Steve C dash SA. The SA is for South Africa. Um, yeah, my favorite song on there. You can play Road Trips. I think Road Trips is a
Road
nice one.
trips. We'll play that out.
Yeah,
Send us the link to that, and we'll add that to the song because people have been saying like, you talk to these people, we can't hear their music. Now you can hear their music.
yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
Steve.
Let me, let me,
Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate that, man. I love having chats with people, especially from all over the world. You're the first person from South Africa I've had a chat with. So, yeah, thanks for coming along. And
hopefully it's not the last chat.
no,
We
we'll
can
chat again.
talk all the
There's definitely
time.
friendships that form. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Let me just
cool. Thanks
share
for
this
joining
for you.
us, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah. Mm. Ah.
Filling up fast, I cannot crash, I cannot get enough. Look at my past, always at class, I can go back enough. On the weekend, looking at ass, but you're still not man enough. Break like glass, take no chance, you can be dead tonight. Run it up, babe, run it up fast for us. Back it up. If you do too much, I'ma break your back tonight. Trust me, no pretend, I'm real bad tonight. Count to 3, turn up with me, let's get it on, get it on. Let's take a ride where you can fly with me. Straight to the sky where I can wait to see. Just you and I, we're making history. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, babe. I'm in my bag like I'm stationary. Niggas ain't moving, they stationary. I pour 'em with concrete, let them sit in their envy. Off peak, don't connect with just any. Off me, only way to distract me. Lag me, snap me, brother, still can't match me. To the stars is where we have to go. Just you and I know we've been before. Just close your eyes, I know your heart will show you. Don't look behind or you will lose your soul. Filling up fast, I cannot crash, I cannot get enough. Look at my past, always at class, I can go back enough. On the weekend, looking at ass, but you're still not man enough. Break like glass, take no chance, you can be dead tonight. Let's take a ride where you can fly with me. Straight to the sky where I can wait to see. Just you and I, we're making history. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, babe. Let's take a ride where you can fly with me. Straight to the sky where I can wait to see. Just you and I, we're making history. Run it up, run it up, run it up.